Okay, so we're trying to find R in terms of P, and it says that R% of the store's revenue from sales was from A. So let's figure out first what part of how many newspapers were, what proportion of the newspapers sold were from newspaper A. And then we're going to set that equal to this R%. So right now, let's just figure out what percent of the newspapers sold were from A. Well, revenue is number of newspapers sold times the price. So it says a number of P% of the newspapers that the store sold were copies were from A. P%. So I know the number sold would be P over 100. That's how you represent that as a fraction. That's P%. Let's let N be the total number sold. So P over 100 times N is a number that would be sold from A, and of course the price of each one is $1. Well, if P over 100 were sales from A, and they only sold A and B newspapers, 1 minus P over 100 would be the one sold for B. So you take that's the percent that were B, multiply it times the total number, and then how much is a newspaper B? It's $1.25. So we're trying to figure out what percent of the newspapers sold were from A. So let's do P over 100 times N times 1, which I'm just going to leave that off. That was what proportion of the total sold, total revenue. So the total revenue is P over 100 N times 1 plus 1 minus P over 100 N times $1.25. So this is a big fat complex fraction. Every term involves an N, so just cancel those out, divide every term by N. And now let's multiply top and bottom by 100 to get rid of this complex fraction. So that's going to leave you a P in the top. Looks nicer already. It's going to leave you a P in the denominator for that first term. Plus, let's multiply both of these by 100. You don't multiply, you just pick out which factor you want to multiply 100 by. So that's going to be 100 minus P. The N's gone, and you're left with $1.25. So let's simplify that further. That's P over P plus, let's distribute that $1.25. So that will give you a 125 minus 1.25 P. All right. Oh, and we can go ahead and combine those P's. That's P over 125. It's 1 minus 1.25 or negative 0.25 P. So that represents what percent of the revenue came from A. So, and they tell us that is R% of the total revenue was from A. So that means R over 100 would have to equal P over 125 minus 0.25 P. And it says, which of the following expresses R in terms of P? So I need to solve this equation for R. So let's cross multiply, and that will give me R times 1.25 minus, I'm sorry, that's 125. Let me erase that. We're cross multiplying. So R times 125 minus minus 0.25 P equals 100 P. So let's add a new slide so I'm not so crowded. So what I had on the previous slide was R 120 times 125 minus 0.25 P equals 100 P. And we're solving for R, so that's R equals 100 P over 125 minus 0.25 P. And I don't want to multiply everything by 100 to get rid of this decimal, so I'm going to call that another name for 0.25 is 1/4. I know a lot of you guys do not like fractions, but I think this is the easiest way to go. Now multiply top and bottom by 4. So that's going to be 400p over 125 times 4. It's going to be 500 minus p. Now, do I have an answer that looks like that? Yes, D.